Alright, hey guys, On The Game here, back with another video, and this is a video that I've been looking forward to making for quite some time now, and as you can tell by the title, I brought another game system recently. It's one I've wanted for a very long time, and yeah, just like with the PS3, which I brought back in December, I also got this off eBay as well. This is only like the second time that I've ever brought a game console off eBay before. I'm incredibly excited for to show you guys what I bought. So I also mentioned in past videos that this console I was looking to get for, quite some time. I mentioned before how I was like searching, to get the best deal on one and stuff. And yeah, I managed to track one down. Got it for a reasonable price as well, only about 52 quid, which is around about the same price as the PS3. Yeah, I was gonna unbox it on camera for you guys, but to be honest, I've actually had this for a couple days now, and the reason why I'm doing this now instead of when I first got it was because I actually had an exam this week. I had a college exam that lasted like all week pretty much. I couldn't wait any longer, so I just decided that I would just open up the box, and yeah, as you can see, I've already opened it up. So so you guys can see what I brought. Let's see if I can do this without everything dropping out. But basically, I brought a Nintendo GameCube. Yep, I finally did it. I brought an actual GameCube. I brought a black one. Comes with the controller, the power supply, and an AV cable. Now, unfortunately, the power supply and AV on this are not the official ones. I don't mind that so much with the AV, but the power supply, that kind of worries me a little bit because, cheap Chinese, power supplies for consoles just kind of make me feel a bit anxious, because they're obviously like not as reliable as the official ones. But I did actually went ahead and brought an official power cable for this, which should be coming within the next few days or so. So at least I don't have to, worry about that too much. But yeah, this is crazy. Pick it up from the handle here. But yeah, I actually brought a Nintendo GameCube. It's crazy. I've never, just like with the PS3, I never owned one of these before. I've had a Wii for the longest time, and that's how I played, pretty much my whole, experience with the GameCube has been solely on the Wii, more or less. I did actually play on a real GameCube when me and my family went to Reading Comic Con a few years back, and they had, some consoles out that you can, play, and they had a GameCube there. But yeah, this is my first time ever actually owning one myself, and yeah, it's not in the best shape. I don't know where you can tell, but it is just covered in scratches, especially at the top here, and also on the handle for some reason. There's a lot of really deep scratches on here, and some scuffs on the front as well. Not in the best condition, but it is what it is. It is used, and amazingly, it does have all the covers on the back. For the different ports, like the high-speed port, the 2 serial ports. It still has the original covers. Surprisingly, of course, the high-speed port is where you put in the Game Boy player. Serial port was for the LAN adapter, which was only supported in 8 games, I think. And then serial port 2, I'm not entirely sure what this was for. I don't know if Nintendo actually released anything that used it, or at least publicly. There may have been some developer stuff that used it, but yeah, so it's got all those. And this is also the earlier model GameCube, which has the digital AV on the back as well, so you can get better video quality out of it. But I'm just going to use standard composite, because it's the more authentic experience. And yeah, there's the inside. Looks pretty decent. Again, it's mainly just the exterior that's not in the best of shape, but as long as it works. Yeah, and as well as that, we also have the controller as well, which is a legit one, thankfully. I do already have a GameCube controller, a white one, which I think is a knockoff one, but it's nice to have a proper, controller that actually has a Nintendo on it. This isn't the Smash Bros one, unfortunately, but yeah, still need to have. And then here's the AV cables right here. Now, it's a good thing that it came with these, because the Wii composite cables won't work on the GameCube. They'll work on the Wii U, but they won't work, for the GameCube. So you actually have to have the proper GameCube ones, which these cables also work on the SNES and the N64 as well, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's not an official one because it doesn't say Nintendo on it. But Got that. And then, last but not least, we have the power supply, which, like I mentioned, is unfortunately a cheap one. You can tell by the way that it doesn't say Nintendo anywhere. Made in China. So, yeah, but like I mentioned, I did already order an official one off eBay last night, so I won't have to use this for much longer, but, you know, it's just, I'm sure it'll work fine, but, you know, obviously you don't want to cheap out on power supplies for retro consoles, because potentially it could damage it, you know. So it's best not to take a chance. So yes, that's the actual system. And as well as that, I also brought something else to go along with it, which I actually haven't opened up. Specifically waited until I started recording this video to open this, but I've got another package right here. And inside of here is actually the main reason why I brought a Nintendo GameCube. I just came back from the kitchen because I completely forgot to even bring a knife with me. So yeah, let's open up this package, shall we? So I'm sure if you guys have seen my previous videos, you'll know exactly why I decided to get a GameCube, and you'll probably already know what's inside this box. In case you haven't seen those videos, let me just quickly show you what's inside of this. So, yeah, it's nicely wrapped, as you can see. It's chucked over there. Alright, this, I'm so excited for this, you have no idea. Alright, okay, here it is. Yep, this right here is the reason why you should still own a Nintendo GameCube. This is, of course, the Game Boy Player add-on for Nintendo GameCube. Yep. This one's in really good condition, actually. Compared to the actual console, which is, like, covered in scratches, the Game Boy Player here is in really good shape. And, like, yeah, it's smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's, wow. But, yeah. This is, of course, the add-on for the GameCube that you plug at the bottom. Oh, one of the rubber feet just came off. Yeah, this is, of course, the add-on for the GameCube, where it allows you to play, you know, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games all on your TV. And it's essentially the spiritual successor to the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo, which is the same thing, but only play the original Game Boy games. And yeah, and it's a really neat accessory, you know. It doesn't require like an additional power supply or anything, you know, just plug at the bottom and boom. I mean, you need the startup disc as well to like get it to work, which I do already have, thankfully. You know, I already got the startup disc a while back, but yeah, here it is. Got the eject button there, cartridge slot, the LAN port, no, EXT, sorry. And yeah, this is in really good shape. Like I said, compared to the actual console, this is in amazing condition. Like, holy crap. But yeah, but let's quickly go ahead and place it underneath the GameCube. But this is literally, like, this right here is the reason why I brought this. Because unfortunately this doesn't work on the Wii. But yeah, so anyway, so to plug in the Game Boy Player, of course, we need to take off this, the cover for the high-speed port. That's where it would go in. Alright, and then you simply just push it in. Like so, and there's screws underneath. You can screw it in to make sure it's nice and secure. And boom. There you have it. There you have it. Now you can play all your Game Boy games on the TV. And yeah. The GameCube's ready to go. This is, oh my god, I'm so excited. I've wanted one of these for such a long time, mainly for the Game Boy Player. I mean, it's just, wow, I can't wait to hook this thing up, you know, it's gonna be amazing. You know, we'll play some games on here. I'll try out a game, because I've got several for the GameCube, just to make sure, like, it reads disc perfectly fine. And of course, we'll, you know, try out the Game Boy Player, play some Game Boy games. But yeah, that's the main reason why I bought it. I don't think I'm actually going to play, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think I'm actually going to play GameCube games on this. I think I'm probably continue to play them on the Wii. And I think this will pretty much just be a Game Boy device, pretty much. Like, I might even, like, keep the boot disc in here at all times. And this will just be, like, you know, a consoleized Game Boy to me. Or I might, like, switch back and forth, you know. Maybe, like, depending on if it's already hooked up, I might play GameCube games on the actual GameCube. Who knows? But, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm so excited for this, guys. It cost me a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It was, like, well over £160, including the startup disc. The startup disc was, like, 63, which is insane. I paid more for the startup disc than I did the actual damn console. And the GameCube was 52, and the Game Boy player was also 52. So yeah, so in total it cost me over £160, roughly, for this whole setup, to play Game Boy games on my TV. Pretty much. It was a lot of money, but hopefully it was worth it. But yeah, but anyway, let's go ahead and hook this thing up, shall we? Alright, I've got the GameCube all hooked up, as you can see. I'm just casually putting it just on top of my Xbox for the time being. With the Game Boy player installed, of course. And I even decided to put in my GameCube memory cards as well, so we can test to see, you know, if the memory card ports work. But yeah, so got the TV on, so let's just go ahead and power this thing. Let's go. See, select your language. Got the controller here, so of course we want to do English. There it is, Nintendo GameCube. What? The system settings have been lost. Calendar and other settings have been reset. What? Wait, what do you mean with reset? What the hell? Why is it set to 2058? What? Why is this set to the year 2058 for us? Hang on. I mean, I was playing around with this last night, you know, just quickly powering it on, just to make sure that it would actually turn on. It seemed like it was completely, like, factory resetted, because it had that same, screen, you know, like, picking a different language and stuff, and I had to do this, you know, set the date and stuff. That's weird that I had to do it again, so, like, I guess the clock battery's dead or something, because I did already set this up beforehand, but, yeah, but now that we have it turned on, let's put a game in it. Alright, so on the main menu, as you can clearly see, so yeah, check the memory card out first, in case you guys are curious to what save files I got on here. Yeah, a lot of these are pretty old saves. You know, you've got Pro Skater 3, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Maker Collection, Gems Collection, Mario Kart, you know, etc. It says nothing's inserted in slot B, even though I clearly do have another memory card in there. Let me just quickly take that out and put it back in. Oh, there we go. So yeah, these two were already on the card actually. There's Mario Kart Double Dash 1 and Smash Bros. Melee. That was already on the memory card beforehand, before I got it. These two are actually mine, but these two were on here like before, and they're pretty old ones as well. Like that Melee one's from 2007, and Mario Kart one's from 2005. But yeah. Anyway, let's actually put a game in. Of course, you know me, big Tony Hawk fan. So the first game we have to try out is Pro Skater 3, my favorite game of all time. So let's go ahead and pop this in. So that tiny little disc. And let's go. Alright, there we go. Tony Hawk 3. Let's go. Turn up a little bit so you guys can hear it. Right, so just gonna play with this. Just gonna play a little bit of this, and then eventually we'll move on to do, like, you know, the Game Boy player, you know, test that out. But yeah, as you can see, it's reading games perfectly fine. See, loading data, that all works. Not enough memory card space, yeah, we don't really care. do single session for now. Just gonna play this for a little bit and then move on to the Game Boy player, the main reason why I bought the system. Of course, I have to remember to turn down the music because copyright and that. Alright, here we go. Oh. Whoa, wow, shit. Yeah, now I'm going to be completely honest, I never actually liked playing Tony Hawk with the GameCube controller. I personally felt like the GameCube controller wasn't really suited for a game like this. Oh shit. I don't know, I feel like Tony Hawk definitely plays best with a PlayStation controller. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I'm so bad at landing in this game. Oh my god, but anyway, like you get the point, you know, it clearly works. Alright, so now let's go ahead and pop in the stupidly overpriced Game Boy Player startup disc and let's test out the Game Boy Player. So, I'm gonna pop this in and then I'll grab just a bunch of random Game Boy games. I'll grab like maybe one of each, like a GBA game, Game Boy Color, original Game Boy, you know. Make sure that all works. Alright, there it is, Game Boy Player. Press start. Alright, so I've got nothing in there at the moment, so let me quickly go grab a game. You know what, how about we start with an absolute classic? I figured, considering that the Game Boy just had its 35th anniversary the other day, what better game to try out than the Game Boy game that everyone knows best? The original Tetris. So, why not? Let's try this one out. So, plug it in the front here. And, oh wait, hang on. I got to... yeah, change game pack. Or do I? Yeah. Alright. Plug it in. Okay, and it's already not working. Oh jeez, alright. You know, I don't really want to have to blow into it, but... come on. Oh, what the hell, man? Oh, it's just... it's corrupted. It's fucking... I can't... Alright, come on. I just blew into it. It should work now. Oh, would you look at that? It actually works. That classic technique never fails. Alright, let's quickly change the screen size. So yeah, so these are all the different options you have. You can choose between different frames. I usually just leave on the default. Of course, screen size, controller layout, screen filter. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Timer for some reason, and of course, you know, change game pack. Yeah, play some Tetris. So yeah, this is it. I'm playing my actual Game Boy carts on the TV. I think this will probably be my main way of playing Game Boy games because I never was like the biggest fan of like playing on like a tiny screen. I mean, I don't mind as much like when I'm out and about, you know, playing portably, but when I'm at home, you know, I preferably want to actually play on an actual TV, so yeah, this might be my default for Game Boy games from now on. But yeah, you get the point, so let's change game pack, put in a Game Boy Color game, and we'll end off with Game Boy Advance. Let's see. I think for Game Boy Color, we'll do, I don't know, I don't really have very many Game Boy Color games. I've only got like 5, I think. Let's do Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Yeah, why not? So plug it in, and yep, just like that, it comes straight on. New game. Yeah, kind of hard to play this version of Mario because like the screen resolution like is so zoomed in, like it kind of makes it hard to play. But still, this is really cool, you know. I mean, I know there are ways with the Game Boy player that you can play without the startup disc, like you can, you know, mod your system and, you know, put some special software in it that will, you know, run the Game Boy games like better than how it does with the actual startup disc. But yeah, so let's change game packs and now put in a Game Boy Advance game. And I think for GBA, I'm gonna do just straight up the classic Doom. Now I just showed this off in my last video, actually, my id Software game collection video. And I mentioned in that video how this was like the first port of Doom that I ever played, and that is true. Like, this is actually how I played Doom for the first time, was on the Game Boy Advance. And it is a pretty decent port, I must say. Yeah, let's go to load game, actually. Yeah, level 3. Oh man, that's super bright. Turn that down a bit. Oh. Yeah, you gotta press start. Why is the music turned off? Hang on. Why would I turn the music off? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's still overly bright, but we'll have to do, I guess. Yeah, of course, blowing this up on a big TV makes it look really ugly. I mean, it's just like a mashup of pixels, pretty much. I mean, obviously it wouldn't look this bad on an actual Game Boy, but you know, it's still really cool. And this is also the only way you can actually play Doom on the GameCube, because they never did an official port of it or something. So if you want to play it on a GameCube, like, this is your only option, pretty much. Alright, so yeah, so played Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, all on the Game Boy player. So I must say, I'm incredibly happy. It was a real expensive investment, getting all this stuff, you know. I mean, it would have been less expensive if I already had the GameCube itself, but the fact that I actually had to go out and buy a GameCube and then buy the player and the Game Boy player startup disc all separately, it just cost me a hell of a lot. But I would say the investment was worth it, you know. I mean, this is going to be my default, I guess, for playing Game Boy games, you know, and I'm incredibly happy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm incredibly happy to finally have a GameCube with a Game Boy player. You know, this is something I've wanted for such a damn long time. Yeah, so I finally got a GameCube and a Game Boy player now, and I can't wait to, you know, play more of it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and peace. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care now.